Hi everyone that's joining in. We are starting our live session soon. Going to wait for a couple of minutes more till other people join in. Hi everyone again. Just waiting for people to join in before we start so no one misses out on today's topic. So in another 2 minutes we will start. So we're live today on Instagram and on YouTube. So everyone that's joining in, hello and welcome. So we're starting with today's live session. As you all know, we do one every week, every Thursdays, and it's on different topics, different things that you would like to hear about, information that we would like to share with you. Um, so there's this usually discussion. You guys send in your questions and we answer them on here. So it's an interactive session. So please join in. And if you have any questions, please leave them here. So usually we have a topic and we take in questions related to that topic. So if you have any different questions, you can always email them or send us a direct message and we will get back to you regarding those questions. So getting to today's topic, and I think today's topic is very interesting because there's a lot of confusion and a lot of debate about this topic, and that is, why do we need therapy, or why does one go to therapy, what happens in therapy, and is this something that is for you? So if you're already in therapy, or if you're planning to take up therapy, then this topic is definitely for you. And we're going to be taking in questions. So if you have any questions related to therapy, please write them down, and I'll try and answer as many as I can in our today's session. So, beginning with what is actually therapy, and there's always a confusion about what to expect when it comes to therapy. So, therapy basically, actually, even therapy and counseling, they're words that are interchangeably used. So, you will hear me saying therapy or counseling during this session. So, basically, they're the same thing. Um, Therapy is basically when you want to bring about changes in your life. Now, it can be changes in your behavior, it can be habits you'd like to change. If there is some past trauma that you've been through and you would like to work through that, then therapy is for that. If you're having issues at work, and you're looking for work life balance, then this is the place to discuss it. Um, if you need help in understanding yourself, I think that is one of the main things that I can tell you that therapy helps with, is getting a better self, a sense of who you are, getting a better sense of what is your purpose in life, what is the path that you want to follow in life, and where you want to be headed. I think therapy helps. I think there's some network issue, so I'll just give me a few minutes to sort that out. Sorry about that, guys. Just having some network issues. If you're not able to see me clearly, then please let me know so I'll try and figure things out. but I think it should be working well now. Hi, Kerry. How are you? Glad you're joining in on Instagram and everyone else that is on YouTube as well. Someone is asking me if I've created Wysa. I wish I had come up with it, but I have not. I'm one of the coaches, and I think I forgot to introduce myself in the beginning. My name is Roma, and I'm one of the coaches with Wysa. So if you have been on there talking to people, you might have come across me as one of them. So we were talking about therapy and why does one need therapy, and I was explaining about how it helps, you know, identify yourself, your journey in life, your purpose in life, and try and figure out where you're headed. Because a lot of times there's a lot of confusion within ourselves as to what we want to be doing, and that confusion can lead to being disappointed with life or having low mood at times, and therapy can help sort that out. It also helps people with already who have psychological problems to build themselves up over the years and try and better themselves in their lives. So there's a difference between who you would see for therapy and who you would see for medication. So there's a difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist or a therapist. So a psychiatrist is a medical doctor who would prescribe you medication. So if you think you're having recurrent psychological problems like things like anxiety and depression, you'd go to them, you'd get yourself diagnosed, and if they think it is needed, they would start you on medication. Then after that, you would start therapy sessions. And if you don't think you would need medication, then you would directly go for therapy sessions. So there's that difference, which a lot of people get confused about. Who they should they see? Should they see a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a therapist or a counselor? So therapist, counselor, they're all words used interchangeably. Yeah. And just a question that I think is relevant at this point. Shane is asking, if I've gone through therapy before, would it help going again? Definitely. And that was going to be my next point about who needs therapy, right? And I think everybody needs therapy at some point in their life. It's not only for a specific people, like for people who have psychological disorders, and they would go um, they would go for a session. It's not that. All of us have some ups and downs in our lives that not we can't get the answers to from friends or families, and we might not find the advice that we're looking for with our inner circle. Sometimes we're looking at someone who is completely unknown to us, who can give us some unbiased advice, and that is when therapy comes into place. You're going into this place where you don't know this person, but you know that this person is a professional, has experience, and can help you sort out issues that you're having in your life. It could be something basic like that you're not able to sleep. For some, it can be a major issue, but you're finding that in the last 2 weeks you're not having good sleep, and you want to talk about this and you want to try a way of fixing this. So you'd go to a therapist, or maybe you're having a huge relationship issue, and that is why you want to seek help, and that is one of the reasons you would go. So any issue or any imbalance that you're facing in life, is if it's personal, if it's work related, if it's professional, if it's in school, family related, any of these issues, you would go to a therapist to. And if you've already been through a therapist, then you already know the process. But maybe you need to just go through different maybe you need to go through different phases of your life that are happening currently, and work through past tools that you've learned and past advices that you've learned, and you want to just go through them with your therapist. Then maybe you go through that with your therapist again. So there's no particular section of people that I feel that you can say that these people need therapy. I think all of us need therapy, especially those that have issues that are recurrent. Then they definitely need therapy, and it'll help them lead a better, rounded life than they're leading now. So, having that figured out and having understanding that. Therapy is not, a lot of times therapy is stigmatized, like, oh, you only go if you're crazy, or you only go if you really cannot handle your life. And that's not the case. If you have a small problem and you want to deal with it before it becomes a bigger problem, then that's a great point to start with. um, and I think there is a poor connection on Instagram. I have to apologize for everyone that's trying to log in and not able to see. Um, for some reason, today of all the days, my network is really troubling me. But thank you for keeping the patience and sticking around with me. So, so therapy is for everyone. Therapy is an option when you feel you need a friend that is not really connected to you in your life, right? So, you can, if you're looking at a therapist, then there's a particular mental health professional that you'll seek out. So this person should have a master's or above, should have certain training or experience that you're looking for. So, if you go to a therapist, do ask them their professional qualifications. That's your right to know. And you should definitely be knowing that, so you feel comfortable with the person that you're at. Someone asked me a question that I wanted to go back to. Yes, Cecilia said, "How can I prepare so I can be most helpful to the therapist for my first session or intake?" I'm going to get to that question because that's a very important point that you're mentioning. So we will definitely talk about it later on. Um, so we talked about why a therapy session. We talked about who would seek help from a therapist, and why would you seek help from a therapist, and the difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist. So these are some main topics that we need to understand for therapy. Um, Now getting to what to expect when you go to a therapist. Now, either you would do therapy with a therapist face to face, or you would do therapy online. Either case, if it is a face to face session, then you would be, in an office. You would meet the therapist. You would sit down, and the environment would be inviting and friendly. And hopefully, a therapist would be someone like me who's waiting to talk to you, excited to talk to you, and excited to welcome you there. And usually, the first session is, like you said, um, the question that Cecilia asked about what to prepare. Usually, there's nothing to prepare. You are going there to seek help. So you go, with an open mind and a way of seeking help, and a way of keeping that interaction going. So when you go in and you meet your therapist, usually there is either a formal contract or a verbal contract that you form with your therapist, saying that you're promising in a way to be open and honest as much as you can, to share what is on your mind, and also to be committed to the process of therapy, because therapy can either be short term or long term. Most times therapy is long term if you're working through a lot of issues. So when it is long term, um, sorry, um, when it is long term, you need to have regular sessions. You need to be going to the therapist for a longer period of time, and you need to, be ready to go through that process, because it is a journey. So when you are there is this relationship that you're forming with your therapist. You are, answerable to yourself and to your therapist about the tasks that the therapist gives you and the things that they ask you to do during the week. So you're that contract that you're signing either verbally or on a written paper with your therapist, that you are committed to this process. You're there because you want to change, that you are there because you want to work on yourself, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to work on yourself. So I think in terms of preparation, that is your mental preparation, that you do and you go. And you also then need to, in the first session, they would just go through with you with the history. So why you're there, what has been happening, how long has it been happening, how do you want to work on yourself, just basic things that we need information for in terms of helping you in the right way. So a lot of people go for the first session and they expect to see immediate results. So they go to a therapy session and they think that things should change and things should work out, and they would see a difference immediately. But that doesn't happen in the first session. Like I said, there's only information being taken, not a lot of therapy that is done. And subsequently, even in the after couple of sessions, it might still be taking history, it might still be trying to figure out what you need to help you best. So therapy, like I said, it's a process and it's a journey. So the first few sessions will be this back and forth of questioning and finding out information and making you feel comfortable and finding out what track you want to be on. So keep your patience in terms of therapy, keep your patience when you're going to your sessions. Keep an open mind. Like I said, it's going to take some time till you figure things out. And thank you, Smriti. She's our lead coach on Wysa, and she's helping me answer questions today. Thank you for doing that, Smriti. So just checking if we missed out any questions. The Coco Life says that, what do I do if nobody wants to help me? I'm really sorry if you've experienced that nobody wants to help you. But I think if you find the right therapist or the doctor that you know, i- and usually that is our job, to help people who are seeking help. I think you should be able to find that help. If not, we on Wysa, we are always helping people that need it. So please log into Wysa. If you're not able to find anyone to help you, I'm sure Wysa will be able to provide that support that you're looking for. Um, yeah. So we talked about what to expect from the first session, and basically, there's no preparation as such. You go in and you talk to your therapist, and they would guide you what is to be done next. Each therapist style is different. Each therapy session is different. So there's unless you've already discussed with your therapist about certain things that you need to prepare for the first session itself, there's not much preparation that you need to do. Um, so I think I'm just checking if I missed anything so far. I think those are the basic things that I wanted to talk about therapy. Um, Kerry says that therapy is hard work but so helpful. I think that is a very important point that I did miss out. That a lot of people expect that they would go to therapy and sit and then things would get solved automatically. No, therapy is hard work. Bringing change in our lives is hard work. And making things work for yourself, it's really difficult, and you have to put in that time and effort if you want to see the change in your life, and if you want to see your life heading in a direction that you're looking to for for your life to improve in a way. So um, it's important that you focus on doing the work. It may be hard work, it may be a little bit um, taxing at times, and you might feel drained after sessions. Sometimes people come out of therapy feeling really tired and drained. It's because a lot of emotional work um, is going through is being done in that session. We tend to carry a lot of baggage in our life, a lot of past issues that we haven't dealt with before, and it suddenly all of it comes together in a therapy session and sort of leaves us a bit um, uh, shocked and a bit confused about how to deal with it. But that's when your therapist comes into play, and your therapist supports you through this time, because um, you know it helps you this going through this emotional process and dealing with your past issues. It helps you grow into the person that you need to be today, help you grow into a person that you actually love and that you want, you're proud of. I think I have been through that journey, though I haven't taken therapy sessions, but I have done sessions with my supervisor and with colleagues. And during training we have to go through therapy sessions. So a lot of that changes a person, changes your outlook on life. I remember being quite a negative person in my teen years, and not being happy with myself and not being happy with life, and I never usually knew what the reason was. And I think awareness before was also not that great, that if your child is going through this, or if a person is going through this, then they need to seek help, they need to go for therapy or counseling. And I think now that that awareness is there, I don't think we should wait. If we are feeling that way, or if we know someone who's feeling down, upset, and needs help, I think we need to get that help for them as soon as possible. Because, like I said, you grow and you learn to believe in yourself more, you learn to be confident more. And even when difficulties come in life, you learn to manage them better, because life is full of difficulties. I mean, there's no running away from that, and there's no hiding from that. That is the bitter truth of life, that there are going to be challenges and there are going to be struggles. But how do we deal with that, and how do we not let each challenge bring us down, rather than help us learn from that and take us forward in life from there. Um, just reading the questions again that you people have posted on YouTube. Saeed Adil says that, why is it so hard to implement what I learn in therapy? Saeed, I think that a lot of it comes from self motivation. That if you're going to therapy and you're going there for improvement, you need to work on the task given. I mean, there's no easy way out from that. And if you put in the effort, and once you start seeing the change, even you will be more motivated to put in the work and to put in the effort, and the do the tasks that your therapist is telling you. So sometimes you just have to get to it, and remember the reason why you're doing it. I mean, why are you going to therapy? You're probably spending money on it, you're probably giving your time and your effort to go there and seek that therapy. If you're doing it online, you're being present there. So why are you doing that? I mean, is there a purpose behind it? Do you want to change in your life? If you want to change in your life, then um, you have to push yourself to get there. And it is possible. It's difficult in the beginning, there's no denying that, because you're sort of blind and you're trying to figure your way around. I have to apologize to people joining in on Instagram, because for some reason YouTube is working fine, but Instagram keeps disconnecting on me. So I really want to apologize. I'm sharing the videos once they disconnect, so you can always go back through the old videos and follow through with what I'm saying. But once again, I apologize for the bad connection. Usually it's not the case, but today I have to deal with this. So talking about getting the work done in therapy and implementing what you've learned in therapy, you have to motivate yourself, and maybe ask your therapist if it's possible for them to check in with you throughout the week, so you're being held accountable for the things that you have to get done. So you have someone that is checking up on you, that is making sure that you're getting things done. um, Thank you for everyone joining in now. We're talking about therapy and why one needs therapy, and we are talking about. I'm just going through some questions before I move in to the next topic that I want to talk about. Someone is asking about medications, and they're scared that they will get addicted to it. Now, some medications, the side effect can be addiction, but that's why you need to talk to your doctor, and you need to make sure that you're adjusting the dose and you're following the doctor's instruction on these cases. Not all medications are addictive, so you need to be getting your right information from the right source, that is your doctor. I'm not a doctor, I'm a therapist, so I wouldn't be the right person to answer that. So if you have any doubts about your medications, make sure that do not Google it. Google has a ton of information that can confuse us. The best source is a trained doctor. If you're already going to one, ask them these questions. I'm sure any good doctor will be willing to answer those questions for you. And this is the right question to be asking. So please do ask this to your doctor. Um, so I want to talk about the difference between therapy and coaching. I think a lot of people have a confusion about this, and on Wysa we offer coaching, not therapy. So a lot of people expect to receive therapy when they come onto Wysa, but when we tell them about coaching, they're a bit confused about what to expect. So what to expect when you're talking to one of the Wysa coaches like me? So therapy session is more long term, more regular sessions, more regular check-ins. It can happen on a weekly basis, or once in 2 weeks. It could be longer as well, but usually it is um, regular. Whereas coaching can be long term or short term, and coaching is provided by either a mental health professional or a life coach, but therapy is only provided by a certified mental health professional. Okay, so um, with therapy, you're dealing with past traumas, you're dealing with your beliefs, your feelings, self-disruptive habits, um, and you go deeper into finding the root cause of issues in your life. And this analysis and introspection is done with the hope of resolving past issues and creating a happier, more stable future. So that is the aim of therapy. Whereas coaching, um, is more about the present. Setting goals for the future, what you want to achieve, any problematic behaviors or obstacles that you can identify that you want to work on in order to create an action plan for those goals. So the whole point of coach is to get a desired result that you've planned on, and it's more action based and future oriented. So that is one of the main differences between therapy and coaching. In therapy, you would deal a lot more about your past issues, whereas coaching is done with goals and uh, focusing on the present and moving ahead. So I think a lot of people have that confusion, and this is what is important for us to know. Just the last couple of questions that I want to take. The Daily Chinga show says that how long is too long to be on medication, and do they stop working at some point? Like I said, I am not a medical doctor, so I cannot answer this question. But if you know a doctor around you, if you're already taking medications, then I think the doctor would be best to advise you on this. And thank you, Kerry, for your positive comment and saying that you like the way I coach, and you feel this is amazing support. I think a lot of people that come on Wysa find that support that they're looking for. Um, and I really appreciate everyone that logs in and puts in your comments and shares in your questions. I think this really helps this session become more interactive and helpful for others as well, because your questions are how other people learn as well. So we are out of time for today. Thank you for joining in. Again, apologize for the connection issues that we've had today. But the video will be on YouTube, and it is also shared live on Instagram, so you can check it out. Any further questions, please send it to us via direct message or email, and we'll definitely get back to you. Log in next week for our next live session on a new topic, and I hope to be talking to all of you soon. If you're on my time zone, which is India time zone, I wish you a good evening and a good night. Take care, everyone.